Good morning, dear students. We are meeting after quite a few days. I hope all of you are fine by all standards under the prevailing circumstances. And yesterday's election results also must have been quite interesting for you to watch, not as a common person, but also as a journalism student. Fine. We'll discuss about the election results as a story in a different topic. Fine. Today we will speak about news writing details. Okay. If you look at your syllabus, you will find these topics good introduction. Fine. How can you do a how do you do a good introduction to any story? It's a new. It may be either a news story or a feature story, article, anything. See, the first thing is you have to attract attention of the people. For that, you have to utilize some techniques. Fine. So it is also the introductory sentence is also called as a lead sentence. Okay. Or you can say lead. Leads can be of different types: question lead, descriptive lead, suspense lead, etc. Now let's take, for example, a question lead, questioning lead. For example, you want to create interest in the minds of the people, so you say that, do you know who was found to be guilty in such or such scam? Or you can say that you know the famous or infamous murder case, the infamous scam that happened, or the person who was working as a, say, disguise in a certain activity. You'd like to know the name of the person. Then you say that, yes, so and so is the person who was actually behind all these activities. That is, you can say, questioning lead. Then comes descriptive lead. Yesterday, election results were given. You can say that BJP-led NDA retains power in state. Fine. It says, the first sentence says, negotiating anti-incumbency and resurgent opposition alliance, the ruling NDA has come to power again. This is descriptive. You are describing something. Then again, for example, if you were describing a specific phenomenon, the COVID case or any other development in health, or negative development, positive development in health, or any other issue, then that is descriptive lead. You are describing something to the reader's benefit. Suspense, fine. You want to create a suspense among the people. You must have seen suspense thrillers or stories where the writer or the filmmaker trying to keep the anxiety of knowing who has done something or who is behind something, as I have said already, also in another relation. That is called creating a suspense. For example, there might have been a case, criminal case, which could not have been solved for a long time, but finally it was solved, and there might be a surprise that, on the contrary to what mostly what the popular belief of the people was there, that a certain kind of person or certain party was behind this, but actually it was found that somebody else, which we could not even imagine would have been connected to the case, turned out to be the real culprits or their reasons behind such a development. Fine. So that is suspense led. Now the question is, ultimately you have to engage the reader in some way or other. Okay. This time, let's take the example of Assam polls, results of which were declared yesterday, May 2nd. Okay, today is May 3rd. I myself, as a conscious person, as well as, I do not have much interest in politics directly, but as a citizen of this country, I also do have certain anxiousness to know who is going to rule us, or who is going to be the ruling party for the next 5 years or 10 years. Okay, so I was looking forward to this date yesterday, May 2, and then again this time when there is nothing of much significance happening in the society, you don't expect much. But this time, the things were, circumstances were completely different, because the anti-car movement, the Citizenship Amendment Act, caused the major movement in the state in around late 2019, which continued up to 2000 February or March. And by the time coronavirus has broken up, and now again coronavirus has broken up, since January again, the second wave, there has been a lot of issues about vaccination. Then in Delhi, oxygen is a problem, etc. etc. For those things, of course, oxygen is a recent phenomenon, oxygen problem. It could not have impacted elections, because elections were completed. Of course, in West Bengal it may have impacted, but in Assam it was completed even before this crisis has started. And in Assam we are not having it. That's why probably it may not have impacted it much. But yeah, Citizenship Amendment Act, COVID-19, etc. These things were supposed to have impacted the elections to a big extent. So I was also waiting with a lot of suspense that what is going to happen. And so yesterday almost the whole day I was glued to TV. Fine. TV I usually do not watch much. And today I was actually looking for the detailed reports in today's newspaper, today's editions of newspapers. I mainly take Amar Asom and Assam Tribune. Of course, everybody else will be having a different taste, choice, and they will be also looking forward to their newspapers. So that is how you engage the reader. And again, when you will be reading the news, or when you will be listening or looking at the news item in TV, or you will be listening to it in radio, or you will be reading it in a newspaper, your attention has to be kept intact by the writing of the story. Okay, that is where you have to have certain experience, then an intelligent choice of words, as well as interesting use of words, use of anecdotes, etc., so that the reader's interest is not going down from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. Fine. For example, let me give you examples of the polls again and again, because it will be convenient to a big extent. Fine. Today morning, while I was reading the newspapers, I was anxious of what the new political parties have done. Assam Jatiya Pariষদ, then Raizor Dal, then BJP, AGP, and Congress, etc. But because of my interest, I was completely engaged with the news items. In the news which I was reading. But some of the major issues already I got to know yesterday from television. Fine. They were also being able to keep my interest intact in the news items. Fine. By giving details of all the prestigious issues, or important constituencies. This time important constituencies were, all constituencies are important, because all 126 state legislative assembly seats are important for us. But out of that, there's some, we add some artificial value or genuine value, whatever you say, to some of the constituencies. Say, for example, everyone's eyes were kept hooked, most of the people's eyes were kept hooked to Majuli, because it is the constituency of Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. Then Jalukbari is the constituency of one of the most powerful ministers of the present state government. Then Lurinjyoti Gogoi's constituency, Naharkotia and Duliajan, because ASU is an important stakeholder, ASU is an important entity in our state, and right from ASU they have formed a new political party, and they were very vocal about opposition to Citizenship Amendment Act and many other issues. Then Raizor Dal, Akhil Gogoi has been at the forefront of anti-car movement, etc., etc. So Akhil Gogoi's constituency, Shivasagar, Lurinjiti Gogoi contested in two constituencies, Naharkoti and Duliajan. They are side by side, adjacent to each other. Duliajan town will be hardly 20 minutes from Naharkoti town. Fine. And my original constituency also belongs to Duliajan. Naharkoti. That doesn't mean anything now. Fine. Then Akhil Gogoi was contesting from Shivasagar, and one interesting thing was that the Congress president Ripun Bora, he has lost his constituency. He was defeated in his own constituency, which I found it very odd. Odd means I didn't think, from my assessment of the political issue, I didn't think that he would be defeated. But anyway, this is politics. Janadek, I mean people's order. Okay. Then, yeah, these are some surprises. So you have to use all these surprises or all these interesting developments in your story so that they become interesting and engaging to the readers. Okay. And nowadays in our state, Communist Party of India has not been making much of order or importance, but there is a constituency near Borpeta called Horhub constituency. There, for a surprise, a CPM candidate, Communist Party of India Marxist candidate, has won the elections despite a BJP wave as well as many other issues. Okay, that is interesting. And you see, whether it is Congress, whether it is BJP, whether it is CPIM or any other party, some of the constituencies are always has always remained strongholds of that particular political party, okay, or a particular candidate. So that person, you can be assured that that person will be winning for a long time in a near future. Bongaigaon Fonibukhan Chaudhury's image is very good, so he has been winning it for probably fourth or fifth time. The Dibrugarh candidate has won for fourth time, and Amguri, just near Shivasagar. Amguri has an interesting development. Yesterday, somebody has pointed it out that so far, on all the general elections which happened in Amguri, no candidate has won twice together, except this time. This time, the sitting MLA has also won the current elections. Right? That was new to me also. So you have to use this kind of anecdotes or interesting tidbits to keep your reader engaged. Okay. And this time, because of anti-car movement, then I mean, in immigrants issue, COVID, etc., people's eyes would have been focused on the certain constituencies which I have seen. Okay, so that way you have to take care of the story. I mean, it will be different for all other issues. Then comes a concrete language. You have to, there has to be no double meaning. No, oh, this is not working properly. No double meaning. No double meaning. If you are meaning something, you have to, no dual meaning. I mean, if I say dual meaning, then you will understand. There, you have to write the story in such a way that it should be very difficult for people to interpret in two ways. There has to be only one way of meaning it. Okay, so that is a concrete language. Earlier, probably I have told you about grammatics, grammatical issues, etc., spelling, grammatical issues, etc. So here, the concreteness means it has to mean only one particular meaning. It should not have double meaning. Fine. That will create confusion and lot of difficulties for people. So, and people will misinterpret or misunderstand it. Specific. If you are speaking about one particular issue, stick to it. And of course, many a times it also happens that one particular issue is related to many other issues. For example, the elections, yesterday's elections, right from the campaign to the counting, it has been related to many issues. Fine. say anti-car movement, COVID management by the state government, and again during the filing of nominations, a lot of people coming together against the COVID regulations. All those things will have to be uh, mentioned as well as linked to the original issues. But otherwise, you have to be specific. If you're writing about one particular issue, you have to be very specific about it. No talking of different issues. Let me give you an example. I think many a times you must be you must be seeing television serials, mega serials, which we used to call earlier. Long, serials running for 200, 300 episodes. There are a lot of subplots, even in our epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana, etc. There are a lot of subplots, different sub-issues which are also being taken, weaved together. In terms of creative writing or in terms of literature, that is okay. But here, it is better not to intertwine all of them, otherwise your story will lose, your main story will lose focus. Okay, so that's why you have to be specific about what particular issue you are writing and stick to it. Clear. This is not only in journalism, but in everything you do, you have to be clear about what you are going to do and what you are going to write about. Then only it will be understandable to the person. Okay, person means the audiences. Then democratic language. I will just combine democratic language and non-racist, non-sexist. Democratic language means we must not have any bias, or we must not have any partiality to any society, class, community, etc. while writing our news item. Okay. Because the issue is, as in legal parlance it is said, you are not guilty unless you are proved guilty. So unless, even if, we do have our biases, no doubt. So personally, I might have a partial liking or impartial liking to a particular community, to a particular person. Even with family, I may be liking somebody more than the other person. Fine. But those biases or partialities must not be reflected in your language while you are writing a news, or you are writing an article, feature, which are to be published in a news outlet, magazine, newspaper, etc. Say, for example, earlier, many years back, in class 7th, when I was in class 7th, there was a chapter, in the history book there was a chapter which said that there was a community in central India. I think it was in Madhya Pradesh. In those days it was known as central provinces. Madhya Pradesh, now presently Greater Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh combined together. There was a community which was identified as the community of thugs. Thugs means it's a Hindi word. Cheats. People who would cheat you badly to rob you of anything. Okay. Now, even though it was history, and we read about it, I think there's a film called Bir in which Salman Khan and Mithun Chakraborty is there. I think that movie is based on a particular person of this community which I am talking about. In our history book, it was found that the British have identified that community as a community of cheats, and police and military was used to subdue them, overpower them. Now, that I think is not a democratic language, because I don't think there was any scientific judgment for scientific basis for identifying a particular community as a community of cheats or thugs, etc. Okay, so that is one thing. And again, right now I don't remember such languages. Uh, but the thing is, basic thing is that we must not be partial to any community, or we must not be biased towards any community. Then again, while you were referring to some persons, if you were describing someone, many years back, of course around 15-20 years back, one day I was reading an Assamese newspaper. Two things struck me. In one small news item, it said that three motorcycle-born youths have tried to snatch chain from a lady going on the road. I think it was Polton Bazaar or somewhere. And the Assamese newspaper, the last sentence of the news item also mentioned that one of the miscreants, the motorcycle-born persons, the antisocial elements, seem to be from a particular ethnic or tribal community of Assam. Fine, there is a common, it's a big tribal community in Assam. Plain tribal community in Assam. You find them in many places, that's not a big issue. But if you are looking at a person, suppose you see a person from a distance, even if by 10 meters, 5 meters, how can you be sure that that person, even if he might be having a tribal look or ethnic look, how can you be sure that how can you be sure to suggest that the person belongs to such a community, that particular community? That is very much bias. Okay, that is not democratic or non-racist. That is very much racist and democratic language. So always keep in mind this. Then another news item was, I think it was around 2006 or 7. There was a person who was actually a quick, person who says that I know medical, I have medical knowledge, I will cure you. The person belonged to a place called Morigaon in Assam. I think all of you know, except our foreign students. And lot of people used to come to him for solutions. But he was like a Baba kind of thing. It created a big sensation. And one day what happened, very unfortunately, around 10-12 people have hired a big vehicle, and they were coming from Hibakhagar or so to meet this person near Morigaon. His village was near Morigaon. And very unfortunately, on the way around Nagaon, the car met with an accident. And I think almost 7 or 8 of the people of that group died. And can you imagine? It is a very established, one of the oldest Assamese newspapers of Assam. They have informed, given the news. Of course, as a news, it has to be given, no question about it. They have said that 7 people died, and out of them, 3 of them, out of these 7, 3 belongs to this particular community. I won't name the name of the community, but that is very biased. If the person has died, by any means, it's a very tragic thing. But here, you should not, unless it is for official purpose or so, you should not give your biased opinion that this person belonged to such a community, then this person injured belonged to such a community, etc. That is non-democratic and very racist writing. Okay. Then comes non-sexist. Nowadays, we have to use, earlier it was not a big issue if you write in different ways, but nowadays, if you are writing about human beings, it should include, it makes sure that the terms you include, the terms you use includes both. The terms you include about human beings mean or include in it both male and females. Okay. For example, nowadays we do not say chairman, somebody who is a head of a commission or a board. We don't say is a chairman, because man is supposed to be male chauvinistic expression, right? So that is why it should be chairperson. Person is gender neutral. You can be a woman, it can be a woman, it can be a male person. Okay. So similarly, nowadays we use the word actor rather than actress. Actress used to mean like the way princess used to mean the female siblings. Now actress was also used earlier for meaning a woman, but now it is actor. Actor means both male and female actors. Okay. So similarly, you should keep in mind that none of your words or expressions should use such an language or such an expression which may have the scope of meaning one particular gender. Okay. Now I think as the third gender development has also come up, in future probably we will have to look for a new lingo or linguistic terms to include the third gender people also in this non-sexist language. Okay, till that time the general meaning things will be okay. Say the person is gender neutral. It may be a woman, it may be a female. Okay, and human beings, you can say human beings rather than saying that man is a social animal. But here also, man, if somebody is very conscious, if a woman is very conscious about her rights, she may also have an objection that why it is saying only men. So in those circumstances, you should use human beings simply. So human beings will include all humans. It may include even third gender, women, males, females, everyone. Okay, even children also. Or otherwise, you can say males and females. But males and females is not a very standard. It's grammatically it is nothing. It's fine. But if you use person, human beings, I think that is a much better expression for to be used for meaning man. The human race. Okay. Then again, sometimes, while I was in Assam Tribune, one day I saw a photograph. It was supplied and it was given by the internal photographer of Assam Tribune. He's a very good photographer, no doubt. That some women were fishing in a pond in a village just before Magh Bihu. As you know, most of you who are from Assam, you know Magh Bihu. It's a big festival where it's a festival of food basically. Okay. And there is a tradition in many of the states in Assam as well as maybe in other states also that people from villages or any place, they go for community fishing. As you know, Assam is abundantly supplied with so many water bodies, good water bodies. Freshwater water bodies, marshes, etc., where there used to be a lot of, even now I think it will be there, it used to be flush with fish and other marine means water born animals or creatures. Okay, so fish was abundantly found in those days, and it is a tradition that people go for such a community fishing just before any festival, right? Then the photograph was published in Assam Tribune. I was not in charge of it, so the caption of the photograph was saying that tribal women fishing on the occasion of there was a festival. I think it was not Magh Bihu but some other festival. Okay. The next day itself, there was a lady from Modipur who wrote a letter to editor saying that why should you use the word tribal? Fine. Because there are two things here I will come to. You see, tribe is usually, I'm not talking about the constitutional or grammatical definition, but the word tribe means a community among our society itself who may not have been termed as advanced or as sophisticated as many other so-called advanced communities. Okay, but the word tribal has been used, tribe or tribal has been used in such with such meanings. Many a times, many people belonging to those communities take it as a derogatory term. That is why many people have now. Many of the people are actually trying to replace the word tribe or tribal with ethnic. The word ethnic. Ethnic means you are having uh, a completely different set of culture, etc., and living a standard of living standard, a lifestyle, which are said to be primitive or not, if not primitive, at least unusual from the so-called modern system of living. Okay. And then again, that is one thing. That was one thing, that why should you say the tribal women fishing in a pond on the occasion of such a festival? Secondly, is not the fishing which is done, the community fishing which is done, actually the person, the photographer whom the things which he have actually referred to, this is not restricted to any tribal or ethnic groups. It is done, it's a fun activity and community activity. It is participated by any people, not necessarily persons belonging to a particular ethnic group or tribe. Okay, so that is why you have to be very focused and specific while using any language whenever you are trying to do some work, trying to write something. Okay, again, let me go back to the issue of giving proper news. Let me give you an example. Many a times you make a mistake of just going by writing what you have said or what you may have inferred. But don't infer or don't go by listening to what somebody has said. Always try to verify everything. Otherwise, you may end up in a soup. I myself have done it once or twice, of course, unknowingly. Okay, now, what happened was, in this one example, I will tell you. Again, in Assam Tribune, one day there was a photograph was published. Those days, Guwahati High Court did not have a bench in Itanagar. A minister, who was a former minister of Arunachal Pradesh, came to Guwahati High Court for appearing in some cases. I don't know him, but our photographer has seen it. A photographer went for some other cases, means for reporting on some other cases. He saw that this person is a minister. He knew about it and about that person, that he was a minister, and so he gave him, this photographer was not the other one who wrote that tribal women were fishing. That is, he was also different. Now, this person has given the photograph of the ex-minister from Arunachal Pradesh and said that so-and-so minister, ex-minister has come to, that time there was a major scam against him also. He is coming to Guwahati High Court for appearing in a case relating to that issue. It was published, the photograph was published, and the caption was also published. After a few days, there was a legal notice from that minister saying that I will go to court if you are because you are giving a wrong information. It was found out that the person did come to High Court, Guwahati High Court, for appearing in a case, but that was not the case which was referred to in the caption in the photograph. It was some completely different case. Fine. So that was then the newspaper had to apologize and give a reply that it was a mistake. So please don't take it otherwise. Fine. So very nutshell, these are things you have to use some kind of interesting development as an introduction or lead, so that your reader's interest grows. First of all, your headline is very important. It is the window to your story. If your headline is attractive, the person will go to the first paragraph. If the first paragraph is interesting and catchy, enticing, then he or she will go to, again, this is also a racist language. I'm saying that he will go to, I'm a male, so he comes first. But there also, the person whether it is a male or female, will be going to the secondary consecutive or consequent paragraphs only if the first paragraph is interesting. Okay. Of course, there are some incidents or news items which are very important. They are automatically everyone will go to it. I mean, to go through the entire story. But so those ones which may not be so interesting, then the first paragraph matters very much. The lead matters very much. Headline, lead, each and every part of the body has its of the news body has its importance in it. This is the election result in Amarokam. It's okay, but I personally don't find it a very interesting headline. Fine. I think they could have, they got news, I mean, they got quite a lot of time also to think of a good headline. I think this is not a very good headline. It's okay, unusual. This is Assam Tribune. Assam Tribune also, it is a simple headline. I won't say it is a very catchy headline or a headline which actually will catch attention of the people much. Okay, so that way you have to think of issues. So you see, very simple language. These are the issues. Look for, go for various studies and go for various news items. These things cannot be learned only by listening to lecture. You have to practice it. Right? So you have to practice it, then you can learn. I mean, whatever you practice, you will be learning it by your heart, and you will never forget. See, we practiced journalism for about 6-7 years, so even now the basics are there with me. I mean, I can write a very basic journalistic writing. Of course, it's writing Twitters or Facebook language is a bit difficult, but otherwise the basic principle is same always in journalism. Only the presentation differs. Okay. So all the best. Make a practice. Now do one thing. As those of you who are from Assam or even for a few outside states, you must have been looking at election news for a long time. Now, try to find out. Today news was published about all the elections, print media. Try to find out whether the newspapers have written the reports as per your expectations also, or I mean your your mental write-up in your mental status, which suppose you wanted to write. I mean, if you have written the same report, will it be like the way your favorite newspaper writes, or would you like to write in a slightly different way? And if it is that if it so happens that you would like to write it in a slightly different way, what are those differences? Then only you will be able to find out the real issues. Okay. So all the best. We'll see you soon in a few days.